Here we have our natural selection evolution lab. So when you open up your lab document, you're going to see your background and purpose, and then you see where it talks about the experiment a little bit, and it talks about the PhET interactive simulations that we're going to be using. So you're going to click on the link. It's going to open to a page that looks like this, and you just have to hit the play button so that you can get the actual lab open itself. Now we have an introduction here, which can talk about a couple different things if you want to look at that. What you're going to be wanting to click on is lab so that you can run different simulations here, okay? So we're going to have 10 different scenarios, okay? And you want to make sure that you're always following those instructions in each scenario so that you are putting specific settings, all right? For the first settings, you're not going to click on anything. You're going to leave it exactly how it opened here. So I have everything here. Total is the only thing checked off. We're not looking at the difference between white, brown, straight ears, floppy ears, short teeth, or long teeth, or anything like that. We're not adding a mate right now. We're not changing the seasons, which are up here. And then we're not adding any mutations at all either. So you have different mutations with the fur, with the ears, and with the teeth. And then you have environmental factors. So wolves, tough food, or limited food. And you can also look at things in terms of total population, proportions, or a pedigree, or none. Right now we're going to leave everything as is, okay? We're not going to click anything. Simulation's already kind of going at this point, all right? So we're just going to let this go, okay? It can run for 15 generations, all right, as you're moving through it. Or you can use the plus and minus keys if you wanted to here as well, all right? Next to the population here so that you can see the population numbers if necessary. Obviously, right now we just have our one bunny moving around, okay? And you can always reset over here, okay? This can allow it to move faster if you wanted it to move faster sometimes, depending on what you have going on. You can also pause it if you need to pause it at all, as well, okay? So you can run the scenario and then not make any changes. All right, we're leaving everything where it is. Notice it says here that our first scenarios are at the equator, which is the sun, and that's the default setting, okay, as opposed to up in the Arctic areas, all right? So once you complete this and allow it to run for a little bit, you'll then have a outcome, and you'll be able to describe that in the scenario 1. Then when you get to scenario 2, you're going to restart. So you'll refresh this button here. And that's when you're going to add the mate as soon as possible and then record your scenarios. Then you're going to restart. All right. You're going to add the mate. And then after 1 generation for scenario 3, you're going to choose wolves. And then you're going to add the wolves in to record those simulation observations. All right, and then for each time, you're constantly going to be resetting and then following the instructions here. So for scenario 4, you're going to add a mate, and then you're going to add the recessive brown mutation for brown fur as soon as possible. So recessives in our right-hand side column, all right, of our mutations. And then after 3 generations, it tells you to click wolves as our selection factor, and then record our observations. All right, then we're going to move to the second set, and the second set are going to be taking place in the Arctic. So this is where you would click on your snowflake up here to move to the colder climate. All right, you're going to start now this time with just adding a mate as soon as possible. Then you're going to move into mate and wolves again. Then you're going to move into the mate and then recessive mutation of brown fur and then wolves. All right, as you go through it. And then for the third, you're going to go back to the equator. So you're going to click on your sun here. And as you go back to the equator, we're going to be looking at now things with food. So we're going to add a mate and then limited food, which is here. And we can see our observations over time. And you're not going to add that until 1 generation. All right, and then for scenario 9, you have your mate. You're going to add your recessive mutation, but now we're going to move down to the long teeth, okay, for the recessive mutation. And after 3 generations, you're going to click limited food, okay. and then record that observation. And then for the last one, you're going to add the meat. You're going to add recessive mutation. So we go to our recessive column and we go down to our long teeth. And then we're going to choose tough food after 3 generations and record that observation there. Afterwards, you can go down and then answer all of the conclusion questions with it.